Hey, so what do you do if your supervisor or your management team does not respect or understand boundaries? All right, so your boss has just asked you to stay late at work and you've offered to help out, and then they ask for more. And you're thinking, wow, like you didn't even appreciate the first one I gifted you, so I'm not wanting to gift you anymore. How do you take back, or how do you respond to somebody who is a taker and not a collaborator, or even a boss that's willing to understand just how this is putting you out and to honor that? Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Tammy, so subscribe and hit the like button so that you stay up to date with the content that we are going to put out for you. Now, earlier this week, I joined TikTok and, well, I've been on it for a while, but I just kind of got a little bit more excited about it as I started to watch other professionals in the communication space share their ideas around good and bad communication. And what I love about TikTok is that you get really concise information, but what is missing is a little bit more context. So in today's video, what I want to share with you is this. We're going to go through alternate endings, and I'm going to give you some scripts that you can use when your boss or your colleague is asking you for things that maybe you don't want to give or that you can't give. So first, let's take a look at the video itself. And I just want to preface this by saying what I love about this is this creator takes our inside thoughts and puts them out there for you to hear how they would sound. They're bold, they're brassy, they're definitely not going to get you the relationship you want in the workplace. They may secure a boundary, but it's probably going to come at a cost. So we'll listen to this first, and then I'll share with you some other ways in which you can respond to this.
Team is stretched so thin. Can you get this done by the end of the day? My workday does end at 5, but given the urgency on this, I can stay an extra 15 minutes to help out. Great, and can you stay late for the rest of the week as well? We've just got so much to do. Me staying late today is the exception, not the rule. You know how short-staffed we are. I do. So why don't you just take on a little more? Because I'm not the long-term solution for the company's lack of appropriate resource planning. Toodaloo.
Now in this video, I'm going to take the employee's perspective. In another video, I will take the manager's perspective as to just how can these conversations just be better overall. I want to support both sides of this. Right now, in this first alternate ending, I just want to share that sometimes when you make an offer to support a request, even though it's maybe going to be a hardship for you, and it is not received in a way in which you feel valued, honored, respected, but instead they go, okay, great, can I take more? You may want to rescind your offer. And so how do you do that without actually sounding like a jerk? I'm going to share with you how you can do that. So the other day I was doing a duet with Lau Haley, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. Maybe it's Lo Whaley, but I think it's Lau Haley. Anyway, she's amazing. What I love about her content is that she takes our inside thoughts, what we really want to say, and she just puts them out there. And you can hear sometimes the edge and the boldness in what she does. And as a communication coach, obviously I want to support you in having the same conversations, but in a way that's not going to create more tension in your relationship. So I'm going to give you some alternate endings. And this one is about boundaries.
You know how short-staffed we are. I do. So why don't you just take on a little more?
I understand how important it is to have some continuity, and if you'd prefer, I can step back and let somebody else take all of these shifts if that's going to serve you better. So notice the tone in which it's like you need to take an approach like, okay, well, it's no big deal. If my help's not needed, I don't need to stay late. I was just offering to support you. So the tone needs to be calm. It needs to be indifferent. And that will help to make this messaging not feel defensive, as opposed to coming in and saying, well, if you don't appreciate my help, forget it, I'm not working late. That will just cause more drama. So it's about the tone and the choice of words. So still making it about them, right? So I still said, listen, if it will support you better to have the same person, I'm happy to, I don't need to stay late. Then they now have to say, no, we need you. I was just hoping that you could take on more. But if you can't, that's okay. You see how that will change the dynamic right away. Now, the second one is going to be just declining the offer straight out. Your boss has asked you to work late and you're just flat out going to decline it. How do you do that without being a jerk? Let's watch.
Can stay an extra 15 minutes to help out. Great, and can you stay late for the rest of the week as well? We've just got so much to do.
No, I can't stay the rest of the week. Now, if you're Canadian, you're likely going to put in, no, I'm sorry, I can't stay for the rest of the week. I'm able to help today. So yes, the word no is a complete sentence. And you can just say no and feel like you need to walk away. We've socially been conditioned to provide some context around that no, so to save face for the other person, to not ruin the relationship. So you may feel obligated to provide more context, and that's okay. You can say, no, I can't stay late, I have an appointment today. That's cool. But you can just simply say, no, I can't, and leave it at that. Try it out sometime. I'd like to see how that works for you. I know it feels a bit scary just to say no and not say anything else. So say no and count to 3 in your head and see what happens. Now, Wanda also offered up a great suggestion I will share with you here. You can simply say, I can't stay late. Actually, I was even going to come and ask if I could leave early tomorrow because I have blank to go to. And then you may rescind that. You can say right after that, but I can see that we're short-staffed, so I will stay until my regular time tomorrow. Or you can just leave it at I was going to ask if I could leave early tomorrow because I have to be here. And leave that and see what the manager or your boss does in response. Likely, I anticipate if you counter with oh, I was going to ask if I could leave early, it's going to already shift their brain to go, oh gosh, no, okay. No, I can't let you go early. You're going to have to stay until regular time, but I'm not going to make you stay late if that's the case. So it can work in your favor. Now, in this third alternate ending, the reason I like this one is because I used it personally. All right, now when I was going through my bullying experience, this is one of the strategies I used when my boss was trying to sabotage me and make me look like I was inefficient by providing me with many tasks to do at the same time or changing them at last minute and just creating a really difficult moment for me to feel like I could show up and be seen as someone who is intelligent and capable and valued. So what we're going to do here is we're going to gracefully turn the request back onto the manager and ask them to prioritize and for them to tell you which parts of the job that they've already assigned you to do can be handed off or delayed or dumped altogether. So let's take a listen.
You know how short-staffed we are. I do. So why don't you just take on a little more?
Yeah, I can hear the importance of this for you, and I'm definitely wanting to support you. I can't stay late. However, if there's something in my day that we can maybe prioritize differently or hand off to somebody else, then I'd be able to support you with this project. So notice how I'm still offering to be a team player. I'm still saying, hey, I can see the importance of this. I'm a bit overwhelmed over here. So if you want to help me navigate through this, perhaps we can get aligned together. And what this does is it puts the responsibility back into your boss's hands. They then have to look at all the things that they've already given you, and they then have to make decisions based on that. And so this was a strategy I used, and it worked beautifully when I was tasked to do 2 different things at the exact same time. And I couldn't obviously do both. I couldn't write a policy and go see patients. And so I just put it back onto her. And the stress comes off of you. Like, there's no ownership inside of you. It all goes back to them. And whatever they tell you to do, that's your job. You go do it. Awesome. Thank you for helping me prioritize my day. There's a few things that this is doing in your boss's mind. Number 1, the fact that you're asking them to help you prioritize, it leans into their desire to be of help and of service. We all want to be in service. And so that's one way to bring them as an ally into supporting you as you navigate all these requests. The other thing it does is it highlights that you actually already have a full workload, and that we may need to look at some of these extra things that have been put on our tables in terms of what do we have to absolutely do and what can we get rid of. And so it creates a place for discussion around the importance of the things that have been assigned. So what are some other ways you can respond to this without feeling like, you're being put on the spot? Well, there were some great suggestions in the TikTok conversation, so I'm going to add them here. Cheryl suggested that we could just say, hey, I'd like to, but I have an appointment and I'm not able to stay. Now, for me, I think that's a great thing to say if it's true. If it's not true, sometimes those lies can come back to hurt you. So I want to give you a few others. And this one came from Stella, and it goes like this. Hey, I'm really happy that you thought about me around this, and I can get back to you as soon as I'm done working on this project. Maybe that's later, maybe that's tomorrow, but you can really just shape it like, thanks for thinking about me, and once I'm done what I'm working on, I'll get back to you and let you know if I can help you. And another option might be, I'd love to stay and talk about this more, but I've got a deadline to meet and I can't. Just walk off. Now, if this is your boss requesting you, this may not be the best solution. And so I think if you try to find one of those that makes it a collaborative conversation that is honest and in line with your integrity, then you're going to have a great place to start. So drop in the comments below, share with me which of these responses are going to be most helpful for you, but also I'd love to hear your responses. Responses that keep the relationship intact and reduce the risk of increasing any more tension or drama. And so I would love to see how you guys support the community with your own ideas and suggestions here. Now remember, I'm going to do a second edition for managers as to how can you come and request these very difficult things when we know it's not ideal, but how can we do it in a way that's going to decrease the tension there too? So watch out for that video next.